The sun is rising, the darkness is giving way to light, and perhaps you woke up carrying yesterday on your shoulders. Maybe your body is tired, your heart is bruised, your mind is overwhelmed. And somewhere deep inside you have been wondering, Lord, when will things finally change? But hear this clearly this morning. You are not walking into Thursday alone. God is going before you. Before you reach the door, He is already there. Before you face the conversation, He knows what will be said. Before you encounter the obstacle, He has already prepared a way through it. Before the opportunity appears, His favor is already working behind the scenes. Psalm 121 declares, "The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in." So lift your eyes this morning. Your help does not come from your circumstances. Your help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Maybe you have cried silently where nobody could see. Maybe you have smiled for people while fighting private battles in your heart. Maybe you are exhausted from being strong, tired of waiting, tired of praying, tired of wondering when restoration will come. But this morning God is reminding you, you do not have to carry what He has commanded you to surrender. The God who kept you through the night is the God who will lead you through the day. The God who healed you before can restore you again. The God who opened doors you never expected can open another door that no human being can shut. Isaiah 43:19 says, "Behold, I will do a new thing." That means your story is not finished. Your disappointment is not your destiny. Your delay is not your denial. Your present pressure does not have the final word over your future. As the morning light breaks across the sky, let it become a picture of what God is doing within you. Where there was heaviness, let peace rise. Where there was fear, let faith rise. Where there was confusion, let wisdom rise. Where there was grief, let hope rise. Where something in you has been broken, may the restoring hand of God begin to touch it again. And today, you will not walk by fear. You will walk by faith. You will not allow yesterday's pain to dictate today's expectations. You will not allow another person's rejection to define your worth. You will not allow one closed door to convince you that God has forgotten you. Psalm 23 says, "He restoreth my soul." What a promise for a tired heart. God does not merely want to get you through this day. He wants to restore your soul while you walk through it. So breathe deeply. Release the anxiety. Release the pressure. Release the need to understand everything right now. God is going before you. He is going before your family. He is going before your plans. He is going before your work. He is going before your decisions. He is going before the doors you have been praying would open. And if a door is not meant for you, trust Him enough to let it remain closed. Because sometimes God's protection looks like a closed door. Sometimes His favor looks like a delay. Sometimes His answer is not yes, because He is preparing something better than what you were asking for. Today, you are covered by grace. You are surrounded by mercy. You are strengthened by His presence. And whatever Thursday brings, you can face it with confidence, because the one who goes before you is greater than anything that can come against you. So as this new morning begins, let your heart say, "Father, I trust you. Go before me. Order my steps, protect my life, restore what has been broken, open what you have ordained, close what would harm me, and lead me into the victory you have prepared." This is not merely another morning. This is another opportunity to believe again. Another opportunity to rise again. Another opportunity to hope again. Another opportunity to see God work in ways you could never have arranged yourself. And before this day is over, may you look back and realize that the hand of God was working in places you could not see, making a way where you saw no way, protecting you from what you never knew was coming, and positioning you for blessings you never expected. There are moments when you look at the road ahead and wonder how you are going to make it through. You see the responsibilities, the uncertainty, the conversations you have been avoiding, the decisions waiting for you, and the battles you cannot even explain. But this morning, I want you to hear this deep within your spirit. You are not required to know everything that is ahead. When you know who is going ahead of you, God is already in your Thursday. Before your feet touch the ground, His presence is there. Before you enter that workplace, that meeting, that appointment, that conversation, or that difficult situation, the Lord has already gone before you. You may not see what He is doing, but heaven is not standing still. Psalm 139 reminds us that there is nowhere we can go where God's presence is absent. So do not begin this morning asking, "How will I handle everything?" Begin by saying, "Lord, go before me, go before my thoughts, go before my words, go before my decisions, go before my family, go before every place my feet will step today. Father, where I am weak, be my strength. Where I am uncertain, be my wisdom. Where I am afraid, be my courage. Where I am wounded, be my healer. Where I am overwhelmed, be my peace." Because there are battles you cannot win by worrying about them. There are doors you cannot open by forcing them. There are problems you cannot solve by replaying them in your mind all night. But there is a God who can step into what you cannot control and bring order where there has been confusion. Isaiah 45:2 declares, "I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight." What a promise to carry into this morning. God is not asking you to straighten every crooked place yourself. He is saying, "Let me go before you." Maybe you have been trying to figure out how everything will work out. Maybe you have been calculating the numbers, rehearsing the conversation, imagining every possible outcome, and carrying tomorrow before tomorrow has even arrived. Relay it. You have a Father who is already in tomorrow. He knows the outcome before you see the process. He knows the provision before you see the need. He knows the answer before you finish asking the question. And when God goes before you, you don't have to walk into uncertainty, trembling as though you are alone. You can walk with the confidence of someone who knows that divine presence is surrounding every step. The enemy may try to convince you that you are vulnerable, forgotten, abandoned, or behind. But the Word of God says in Romans 8:31, "If God be for us, who can be against us? So lift your head, straighten your shoulders, take another breath." You survived nights you thought would break you. You endured seasons you thought would never end. You cried, but you kept going. You were disappointed, but you kept believing. You were tired, but somehow grace carried you into another morning. That grace is still carrying you, and today, God is going before you. Not because you have everything together, but because He is faithful. There may be an unexpected challenge today, but God will give you unexpected strength. There may be a difficult decision, but God will give you wisdom. There may be an opportunity you never anticipated, but God will give you discernment. There may be a door you thought was permanently closed, but if He has ordained it, no human being can ultimately prevent Him from opening it. And if something does not happen today, Do not assume God has forgotten you. Trust His timing. Sometimes God protects you by redirecting you. Sometimes He protects you by slowing you down. Sometimes He protects you by removing something you desperately wanted. And sometimes what feels like disappointment today will become the testimony you thank Him for tomorrow. Psalm 37:23 says, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord." Not merely the destination, the steps. This means God cares about the small decisions, the quiet moments, the conversations, the opportunities, and even the interruptions you did not plan for. So today, ask Him to order your steps. When you are about to speak, give me wisdom, Lord. When you are about to decide, give me discernment, Lord. When you are tempted to react in anger, give me peace, Lord. When fear tries to take over, remind me of your promises. When exhaustion tells me to give up, renew my strength. And when I cannot see the way forward, teach me to trust the one who can, because faith is not always knowing what God is doing. Sometimes faith is simply knowing that God is doing something, and this morning you can rest in that. God is already working in places you cannot see. He is preparing what you cannot yet touch. He is arranging what you cannot yet understand. He is protecting you from things you may never know happened. He is closing conversations that would have wounded you. He is redirecting paths that would have exhausted you. He is positioning you for what He has prepared. So do not spend this entire day looking backward. Your God is ahead of you. The morning has come. The light is breaking. Mercy is new. Grace is available. And the presence of God is already waiting for you on the road ahead. Father, we surrender this Thursday into your hands. Go before us. Fight what we cannot fight. Reveal what we need to see. Hide us from what would destroy us. Give us wisdom when decisions come. Give us peace when pressure rises. Give us courage when fear speaks. Give us strength when our bodies and emotions feel exhausted. And Lord, for the person listening who feels like they have nothing left, remind them that they do not have to carry this day alone. For the broken heart, bring restoration. For the anxious mind, bring peace. For the discouraged soul, bring hope. For the weary spirit, bring fresh strength. And for every person who has been waiting for a breakthrough, remind them that silence does not mean absence. You are there, Lord. You are going before them. You are making crooked places straight. You are ordering their steps. You are preparing their way. And whatever comes today, may they walk forward knowing that the God who brought them through yesterday is already waiting for them in tomorrow. Thursday is not a day to fear. It is a day to trust. Because God has gone before you. And when God goes before you, you can walk into the unknown with peace. Because the unknown to you is already known to Him. This morning, before you step into the noise of the world, remember this. You are surrounded by a protection greater than anything you can see. You may not know what this day will bring, but God already knows. You may not know what conversations will happen, what roads you will travel, what decisions you will face, or what situations may suddenly arise. But your Father is not surprised by Thursday. Psalm 121 says, "The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in." That means when you leave your home, His eyes are upon you. When you return, His mercy is still covering you. When you travel, His presence goes with you. When you enter unfamiliar places, you are not entering them alone. So this morning, do not begin the day with fear, begin it with trust. There is a peace that comes when you realize you do not have to predict every danger because God is already watching over you. You do not have to see every hidden threat because nothing is hidden from Him. The sunrise is declaring something this morning. Darkness does not have the final word. As the first light breaks through the night, let that light remind you that God's presence is breaking through every shadow of fear, anxiety, uncertainty, and discouragement. Perhaps you woke up exhausted from yesterday. Perhaps your mind immediately began thinking about everything that could go wrong. Perhaps you are carrying concern for your children, your spouse, your parents, your finances, your future, or someone you love. But today, place them in God's hands. Say, Lord, I cannot watch over everything, but you can. You can protect what I cannot reach. You can see what I cannot see. You can guard what I cannot control. You can stand where I cannot stand. Psalm 91 declares that the one who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. What a powerful picture for this morning. You are not exposed. You are under His shadow. The shadow speaks of nearness. The shadow speaks of covering. The shadow speaks of protection. And when God is near, fear does not have permission to become your master. Maybe there are things you are afraid will happen today. Give those fears to God before they have the opportunity to occupy your entire mind. You don't have to spend Thursday fighting imaginary battles. You don't have to suffer tomorrow's pain before tomorrow arrives. You don't have to carry 10 possible disasters in your imagination while God is holding your actual life in His hands. Jesus said in Matthew 6:34, "Take therefore no thought for the morrow. There is grace for today, there is strength for today, there is mercy for today, and there is protection for today." So Father, cover every person listening right now. Cover their mind from destructive thoughts. Cover their heart from unnecessary fear. Cover their body with strength. Cover their home with peace. Cover their family with your presence. Cover their travels. Cover their work. Cover their conversations. Cover their decisions. Cover every place their feet will step today. Lord, protect them from accidents they cannot anticipate, from situations they cannot control, and from choices that could lead them away from your will. Give them discernment to recognize what is not from you. Give them wisdom to walk away when they need to walk away. Give them courage to say no when saying no is necessary. Give them sensitivity to hear your quiet direction before making a major decision. Because sometimes protection is not a dramatic miracle. Sometimes protection is a sudden hesitation. Sometimes it is a changed plan. Sometimes it is an unexpected delay. Sometimes it is a person you never meet. Sometimes it is a door that never opens. And one day, you may discover that what you called an inconvenience was actually divine protection. So trust God when He redirects you. Trust Him when He closes something. Trust Him when He tells you to wait. Trust Him when the path looks different from what you imagined. Proverbs 3:5-6 tells us to trust in the Lord with all our heart and acknowledge Him in all our ways, and He will direct our paths. Your path is not random. Your life is not outside God's sight. Your future is not beyond His reach. And your family is not beyond His ability to protect. For the person listening who has been carrying deep anxiety about someone you love, breathe deeply and release them into the hands of God. You cannot be everywhere, but God can. You cannot see everything, but God can. You cannot control every outcome, but God can lead you through every outcome. So instead of saying, "What if something goes wrong?" begin saying, "What if God is already making a way? What if the protection you cannot see is already surrounding you? What if the answer you have been waiting for is already moving toward you? What if God is arranging circumstances that will make sense later?" Faith changes the way you enter a day. Fear says, "Something bad might happen." Faith says, "Whatever happens, God will be with me." Fear says, "I don't know what is ahead." Faith says, "God does." Fear says, "I am alone." Faith says, "The Lord is with me." And Psalm 23 reminds us that even when we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we do not have to fear evil, because God is with us. Notice that the promise does not say, "There will never be a valley." It says, "You will not walk through it alone." So, if today brings a valley, God will meet you there. If today brings a mountain, God will strengthen you there. If today brings a breakthrough, God will be glorified there. And wherever this Thursday takes you, His presence will be greater than the uncertainty surrounding you. Lord, place your peace over every anxious heart. Let homes become places of rest. Let families become places of love. Let minds become quiet enough to hear your voice. Let exhausted hearts breathe again. Let those who have been living in fear experience the comfort of your presence. And when they step outside this morning, let them carry a deep assurance within them. I am covered, I am guided, I am protected. God is with me. The sun is rising. A new day is beginning. And you do not have to walk into it trembling. Walk into it with faith. Walk into it with peace. Walk into it with expectation. Because the God who watched over you while you slept is still watching over you now. He goes before you. He stands beside you. He remains behind you. And His presence surrounds you. Your going out is covered. Your coming in is covered. Your family is covered. Your future is covered. And whatever this day brings, remember, you are never outside the reach of God's protection. There is a kind of disappointment that does not make a sound. It is the email that never came. The phone call you were hoping for that never happened. The opportunity that disappeared. The relationship you thought would last. The plan you prayed over that suddenly collapsed. And sometimes you stand before a closed door and wonder, "God, why did you let this happen?" But this morning, I want you to hear something that can change the way you see your entire life. A closed door is not always rejection. Sometimes it is protection. You may see a door closing. God may see a trap you were about to walk into. You may see an opportunity disappearing. God may see a path that would have taken you away from His purpose. You may see a delay. God may be preparing you for the right timing. You may see an ending. God may be making room for a beginning you cannot yet imagine. So before you allow disappointment to settle into your heart this morning, remember Proverbs 3-5-6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. That means you do not have to understand every closed door to trust the one who closed it. There are things God will never explain to you in advance. There are prayers He will answer by redirecting you. There are moments when His greatest protection will feel like your greatest disappointment. And someday you may look back and thank Him for the very door you cried over. Think about Joseph. He was betrayed by his brothers. He was thrown into a pit. He was sold into slavery. He was falsely accused. He was forgotten in prison. Door after door seemed to close, But God was not absent. God was positioning him. What looked like destruction was becoming preparation. What looked like delay was becoming destiny. And what looked like the end was only another chapter in God's plan. Maybe you are in a Joseph season right now. Maybe you are wondering why things have not happened the way you prayed. Maybe you worked hard, believed faithfully, and still watched something slip away. But do not mistake a closed door for a closed future. Your future is not controlled by one opportunity. Your destiny is not dependent on one person. Your blessing is not dependent on one employer. Your purpose is not dependent on one relationship. What God has ordained for you cannot be cancelled by what rejected you. If one door closes, God remains God. If one opportunity disappears, God remains your provider. If someone walks away, God remains your companion. If your plan changes, God's purpose has not changed. Psalm 84:11 says, "No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly." So if something has been withheld, trust that God knows why. Maybe he is protecting your peace. Maybe he is protecting your future. Maybe he is protecting your family. Maybe he is protecting your spiritual growth. Maybe he is keeping you from receiving something before you are ready to carry it. Because not every open door is a blessing. Some doors look beautiful but lead into bondage. Some opportunities look impressive but cost you your peace. Some relationships look promising but slowly drain your purpose. Some answers arrive quickly but create consequences you were never prepared to face. That is why we pray, Lord, not merely open doors for me, open the right doors. Father, give us discernment. Teach us not to chase what you are asking us to release. Teach us not to beg for what you are trying to protect us from. Teach us not to call something a blessing simply because it looks attractive. Give us eyes to recognize your will. Give us patience when the answer is delayed. Give us peace when the door remains closed. And give us courage to walk away when you say, "This is not for you." For someone listening this morning, there may be a closed door that has been hurting you for weeks, months, or even years. You keep asking, why? But perhaps today God is asking you a different question. Will you trust me even when you do not understand me? That is where faith becomes real. Faith is easy when every door opens. Faith becomes powerful when one door closes and you still say, "Lord, I trust you." When the answer is no and you still worship. When the timeline changes and you still believe. When the opportunity disappears and you still wake up saying, "God is good." That kind of faith cannot be defeated by circumstances. And listen carefully. The closed door does not mean you have been forgotten. The closed door does not mean you are behind. The closed door does not mean your life is over. Sometimes God closes a door because he knows there is a better road ahead. Isaiah 22:22 speaks of a God who opens and no one shuts, and shuts and no one opens. When God opens the right door, you will not have to destroy yourself trying to force it. You will not have to compromise your values to enter it. You will not have to lose your peace to maintain it. You will not have to become someone God never called you to be just to keep it open. The right door will align with his purpose. The right opportunity will not require you to abandon his presence. The right relationship will not constantly pull you away from his peace. The right season will come in God's timing. So breathe this morning. Release the door you cannot open. Release the person you cannot control. Release the opportunity you cannot recover. Release the past you cannot change. and place it into the hands of the God who sees the whole picture. You are standing in one frame. He sees the entire story. You see the disappointment. He sees the development. You see the ending. He sees what comes next. You see an empty space. He sees what he is preparing to fill it with. And while you wait, God is not wasting your time. He is strengthening you, healing you, restoring you, preparing you, maturing you, and teaching you to trust his voice above your emotions. So today, do not knock yourself down trying to force open a door God has closed. There is grace in letting go. There is freedom in surrender. There is peace in trusting God's no. And there is hope in knowing that his no is never the end of your story. The sunrise is proof that darkness has an expiration. The night may have been long, but morning still came. And just as the light has broken through this morning, God can bring light into the places of your life that have felt dark for too long. Your disappointment will not have the final word. Your rejection will not have the final word. Your delay will not have the final word. God has the final word. So walk into this Thursday with peace. Do not chase what God has closed. Do not mourn forever what he has removed. Do not allow yesterday's disappointment to blind you to today's possibilities. Lift your eyes. There is another road. There is another chapter. There is another opportunity. And if God is leading you, then you can trust the path, even when you cannot yet see where it ends. The door may be closed, but your future is still open in the hands of God. There are moments when everything seems stuck. Your prayers feel unanswered. Your plans seem delayed. And the future looks like a hallway with no visible exit. But what if the silence is not the absence of God? What if, behind the scenes, he is preparing an opening you could never create for yourself? This morning, I want you to lift your eyes and remember this. When God decides to open a door, no limitation, rejection, delay, or human opinion can permanently stop what he has ordained. You may not see the door yet, but God sees it. You may not know where it will lead, but God already knows. You may feel like you have been waiting too long, but God's timing has never been late. Isaiah 43:19 says, "Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth." Something can spring forth from a place that looked completely empty. Something can grow after a season that felt barren. Something can change when you have almost stopped expecting change. And that is why you cannot allow your present circumstances to become your permanent expectation. Maybe you have been praying for an opportunity. Maybe you have been asking God for financial provision. Maybe you have been waiting for healing. Maybe you have been believing for restoration in your family. Maybe you have been asking for direction because you have no idea which way to turn. Today, remember, God does not need perfect circumstances to create an extraordinary breakthrough. He can make a way where there is no way. He can connect you with the right person at the right moment. He can place your name in a room you never entered. He can create an opportunity you never knew existed. He can turn one conversation into a life-changing connection. He can transform a setback into a setup. He can take what looked like rejection and use it to redirect you towards something better. Psalm 5:12 says, "For thou, Lord, wilt bless the righteous. With favor wilt thou compass him as with a shield." Imagine walking into this day surrounded by divine favor, not human approval, not luck, not coincidence, favor. The kind of favor that makes a way when your qualifications seem insufficient. the kind of favor that gives you peace when everyone else is panicking, the kind of favor that causes the right opportunity to find you, the kind of favor that protects you from opportunities that would have destroyed your peace. Father, let your favor surround your children today. Go before them into every workplace. Go before them into every meeting. Go before them into every conversation. Go before them into every application, interview, business decision, financial situation, and family matter. Where there is a door that needs to open, Lord, open it according to your will. Where there is a door that would harm them, close it with mercy. And where they have been waiting for an answer, give them the patience to trust your timing. Because sometimes the greatest miracle is not simply getting what you asked for. Sometimes the miracle is discovering that God was preparing something greater than what you imagined. Think about the Israelites standing before the Red Sea. There was water ahead, enemies behind, and no obvious escape. But God specializes in impossible situations. What looked like the end became a pathway. What looked like a barrier became a testimony. What looked impossible became evidence that God was with them. And maybe you are standing before your own Red Sea this morning. Your resources are limited. Your options seem few. Your strength is running low. But your God has not changed. The same God who made a way through the sea can make a way through your situation. The same God who provided manna in the wilderness can provide what you need. The same God who restored broken lives can restore yours. The same God who opened doors for his people can open the right doors for you. So do not allow the size of your obstacle to make you question the size of your God. Your obstacle may be large, but your God is greater. Your waiting season may be long, but his faithfulness is longer. Your resources may be small, but his provision is limitless. Your strength may be weak, but his grace is sufficient. 2 Corinthians 12-9 reminds us that his grace is sufficient, and his strength is made perfect in weakness. So if you feel weak this morning, you are not disqualified. If you feel tired, you are not forgotten. If you feel uncertain, you are not abandoned. God can work through your weakness. God can work through your waiting. God can work through the places where you feel inadequate. And sometimes, the person who thinks they are least qualified is exactly the person God chooses to demonstrate his power through. So stop saying, I am not enough. Instead say, God is enough. Stop saying, I don't have the resources. Say, God is my provider. Stop saying, I don't know how this will happen. Say, God knows how. Stop saying, there is no way. Say, God can make a way. That is faith. Faith does not deny reality. Faith simply refuses to make reality bigger than God. And this morning, your expectation needs to rise again. Not because everything has changed yet, but because God has not changed. The sun is rising over another day. Let that sunrise remind you that God can bring light into places that have been dark. He can bring movement into stagnant situations. He can bring healing where there has been pain. He can bring restoration where there has been loss. He can bring peace where there has been anxiety. He can bring hope where disappointment has taken root. And he can open doors that you stopped believing could ever open. So prepare your heart, prepare your mind, prepare your spirit. Because when God opens a door, you need courage to walk through it. You cannot pray for a new season and then remain emotionally chained to the old one. You cannot ask God for increase while constantly expecting failure. You cannot ask for restoration while believing that everything is permanently broken. Begin to agree with what God says about your future. Begin to believe again. Begin to hope again. Begin to expect God's goodness again. Psalm 27:13 says, I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. There is goodness ahead. There is still purpose ahead. There are still prayers God can answer. There are still chapters He can write. There are still miracles you have not witnessed. There are still doors you have not walked through. So do not let one closed door convince you that the hallway has ended. Keep walking, keep praying, keep trusting, keep believing, because your God is still writing your story. Father, restore expectation in every weary heart listening right now. For the person who has been disappointed, give them hope. For the person who has been rejected, remind them of their worth. For the person who has been waiting, give them patience. For the person who has been overlooked, remind them that heaven sees them. For the person who has been struggling financially, provide according to your will. For the person praying for restoration, breathe life into what seems broken. And Lord, when the right door opens, give them the wisdom to recognize it. Give them the courage to walk through it. Give them the humility to remember who opened it, and give them the discernment to remain where your peace remains. Today, walk with expectation, not anxious expectation, not desperate expectation, faith-filled expectation. Because the God who goes before you is also preparing what is ahead of you. And when the right moment comes, you will understand why some doors had to remain closed. You will understand why certain delays protected you. You will understand why certain opportunities disappeared. And you may find yourself looking back with tears in your eyes. Not tears of pain this time, but tears of gratitude. Because what you thought was God's absence was actually His preparation. What you thought was delay was divine timing. What you thought was rejection was redirection. And what you thought was impossible became your testimony. So lift your head this morning. The day is beginning, your hope is rising, your faith is rising, and your God is already ahead of you. The right doors are still in His hands, and when He opens them, no one will be able to take away what He has ordained for you. There comes a moment when you realize you are not just tired from what you have done. You are tired from what you have carried. You have carried conversations you never got closure from. You have carried disappointments you never talked about. You have carried responsibilities that felt too heavy. You have carried prayers that seem to have no answer. And perhaps you have become so accustomed to saying, I'm fine, that you almost forgot what it feels like to truly be at peace. But this morning, as the sunlight begins to push through the darkness, God is calling you into a different place. You do not have to carry everything anymore. Psalm 23:3 says, He restoreth my soul. Not your appearance, not your reputation, not merely your circumstances, your soul, the deepest part of you, the part nobody else can see, the part that became weary while you kept functioning, the part that cried when everyone else was gone, the part that smiled in public while silently asking God for strength. That is the place God wants to touch this morning. Maybe your body woke up, but your spirit still feels exhausted. Maybe you slept for hours, but somehow woke up carrying the same heaviness. Maybe you have been strong for everyone else and secretly wondering, who will be strong for me? Hear this. God will meet you there. He is not disappointed by your exhaustion. He is not angry because you are tired. He is not ashamed of your tears. He does not turn away from your weakness. Psalm 34:18 says that the Lord is near to the brokenhearted, near. Not distant, not indifferent, near. When your heart is broken, He comes near. When your strength is low, He comes near. When you cannot find the words to pray, He comes near. When all you can say is, "Lord, help me," He understands. So this morning, stop pretending before God. You do not have to perform. You do not have to impress Him. You do not have to hide the places that hurt. Bring Him your real heart. Bring Him your disappointment. Bring Him your fear. Bring Him your questions. Bring Him the memories that still sting. Bring Him the dreams that feel buried. Bring Him the places where you have become numb, and let Him begin restoring you. Restoration does not always happen in one dramatic moment. Sometimes restoration begins quietly. A little peace returns. A little hope comes back. You sleep better. You stop replaying the past. You begin smiling again. You begin believing again. You begin looking toward the future without fear. And one day you realize, God has been healing me all along. That is what grace can do. It can enter places nobody else can reach. It can touch wounds you learned to hide. It can bring peace to a mind that has been running for years. It can breathe hope into a heart that almost stopped expecting good things. Isaiah 40:31 says, "Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength." Renew, not merely survive, renew. God can renew what exhaustion has drained. He can renew your courage. He can renew your joy. He can renew your faith. He can renew your passion. He can renew your expectation. And perhaps you have been asking God to change your circumstances, while God has been strengthening you to walk through those circumstances without losing yourself. Because sometimes the miracle is not that the storm disappears immediately. Sometimes the miracle is that peace enters the storm. Jesus slept in the boat while the disciples panicked. The storm was real, the waves were real, the danger looked real, but Jesus was there. And when He spoke, the storm obeyed. That same Lord is with you today. Your storm may be real. Your pressure may be real. Your grief may be real. Your uncertainty may be real. But God is more real than the storm. So breathe, slow down, let your shoulders relax. You have permission to stop carrying tomorrow. You have permission to release yesterday. You have permission to live in the grace God has given you for today. Further, restore the soul of the person listening right now. Restore what disappointment damaged. Restore what betrayal wounded. Restore what rejection weakened. Restore what stress exhausted. Restore what fear stole. Restore their peace. Restore their confidence. Restore their joy. Restore their ability to hope. For the person who has been emotionally exhausted, let your presence become their place of rest. For the person who has been silently grieving, bring comfort. For the person who has been carrying guilt, bring mercy. For the person who feels like they have failed too many times, remind them that failure is not the end of their story. For the person who has lost their confidence, remind them that their identity is not determined by what people said about them. For the person who feels forgotten, remind them that you have never lost sight of them. And for the person who is tired of waiting, teach them that waiting with God is not wasted time. There is something happening in the waiting. Roots are growing. Character is developing. Faith is deepening, discernment is increasing, and God is preparing you for what you once prayed for. Sometimes we ask for the blessing without realizing the blessing requires a stronger version of us. So while you wait, let God work within you. Let Him heal you. Let Him teach you. Let Him mature you. Let Him strengthen you, because you do not want to enter a new season carrying the wounds of the old one. You want to enter healed. You want to enter whole. You want to enter with peace. You want to enter knowing that your worth does not depend on who stayed, who left, who accepted you, or who rejected you. Your worth comes from God. And if God says you are His, no rejection can change that. If God says you are loved, no abandonment can erase it. If God says you have purpose, no setback can cancel it. The sunrise outside your window is preaching a quiet sermon this morning. Darkness did not win, the night had its hour. But morning came, and your pain may have had its season. But pain does not own your future. Your grief may have had its season, but grief does not own your future. Your disappointment may have had its season, but disappointment does not own your future. God does. So lift your eyes. There is still life ahead. There is still purpose ahead. There is still joy ahead. There is still healing ahead. There is still restoration ahead. There are still prayers that can be answered. There are still doors that can open. There are still testimonies that can be written. You are not finished. You are being restored. And even if you cannot feel the change yet, trust the hand of God working beneath the surface. A seed does not look like a tree while it is underground. But something is happening. Roots are forming. Life is developing. And in God's timing, what was hidden will become visible. So do not despise this quiet season. God may be doing His deepest work where nobody else can see. Further, let this Thursday become a day of renewed strength. Let peace settle over troubled minds. Let hope rise in discouraged hearts. Let healing begin in wounded places. Let restoration enter broken areas. Let joy return to homes that have known too much sorrow. And let every tired soul listening know this: you do not have to be strong every moment. Sometimes strength is simply admitting, Lord, I need you. And when you surrender your weakness to Him, He gives you His strength. When you surrender your anxiety, He gives you His peace. When you surrender your brokenness, He begins His restoration. When you surrender your future, He gives you the courage to trust His plan. So today, walk gently. Do not rush your healing. Do not condemn yourself for being tired. Do not compare your restoration to someone else's timeline. God knows exactly what your soul needs, and He knows how to restore it. The God who sustained you through the darkest night is bringing you into another morning. The light is coming, peace is returning, strength is rising, hope is awakening. And slowly, beautifully, faithfully, your soul is being restored. This morning, do not wait until everything around you looks perfect before you decide to believe God. The victory begins before the battle is visible. It begins in the quiet moment when you open your eyes and say, Lord, I trust you with this day. The sunrise is breaking through the darkness, and perhaps your circumstances have not changed yet. The same bills may be waiting. The same responsibilities may be waiting. The same unanswered questions may still be sitting in your heart. But you are not the same person who went to sleep last night. You woke up with another portion of mercy, another opportunity to trust, another opportunity to believe, another opportunity to walk with God. Lamentations 3:22-23 reminds us that the Lord's mercies are new every morning. This morning is evidence that God has not finished with you. So do not enter Thursday expecting defeat. Enter it expecting God's presence. Enter it expecting His wisdom. Enter it expecting His protection. Enter it expecting His peace. Enter it believing that whatever you face, God will give you the grace to face it. You do not know everything that is going to happen today, but you know the one who does, and that changes everything. Psalm 118:24 says, "This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it." Not because every circumstance is perfect, not because every prayer has been answered, not because every problem has disappeared, but because God is still God. Your joy does not have to depend on your circumstances. Your peace does not have to depend on other people's behavior. Your confidence does not have to depend on what happens at work. Your hope does not have to depend on what happens financially. Your faith does not have to depend on whether you understand the plan, because your foundation is not Thursday. Your foundation is Christ. So today, refuse to give your peace away. There will be people who misunderstand you. Do not let it steal your peace. There may be things that do not go according to plan. Do not let them steal your peace. There may be delays. Do not let them steal your peace. There may be unexpected challenges. Do not let them steal your peace. You have prayed too hard, survived too much, and come too far to hand your entire emotional state over to circumstances that can change in a moment. Guard your heart, guard your mind, guard your faith. And when something unexpected happens, pause before you panic, pray before you react, trust before you assume. Because God may be working in the very situation that is making you uncomfortable. Proverbs 16:9 says, "A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps." You may have plans for today. God may have divine interruptions. You may have a schedule. God may have an assignment. You may think you know exactly how the day should unfold. But if God redirects you, follow Him, because sometimes the detour is where the blessing is waiting. Sometimes the delay is where protection is found. Sometimes the unexpected conversation carries the answer you have been praying for. Sometimes what feels like an interruption is actually divine positioning. So stay sensitive to God's voice today. Do not rush past the quiet prompting. Do not ignore the wisdom He gives you. Do not dismiss the peace He places in your heart. And do not force something simply because you are afraid of missing it. If God has ordained it, you will not have to destroy yourself trying to make it happen. The right door will open. The right opportunity will come. The right timing will arrive, and when it does, you will know that it was God. Maybe today you will receive unexpected good news. Maybe today someone will call you with an opportunity. Maybe today something that has been delayed will finally move. Maybe today God will answer a prayer in a way you never expected. But even if the breakthrough does not appear today, you can still walk in victory, because victory is not merely receiving what you want. Victory is remaining faithful while you wait. Victory is keeping your peace when the answer is delayed. Victory is choosing forgiveness instead of bitterness. Victory is choosing faith instead of fear. Victory is continuing to pray when you are tired. Victory is trusting God when you cannot trace Him, and that kind of victory cannot be taken away by circumstances. For someone listening this morning, I know your heart may be tired. Maybe you have been asking, how much longer? Maybe you have prayed the same prayer again and again. Maybe you have wondered whether anything is actually changing. But do not let the length of the waiting convince you that God has abandoned you. Galatians 6-9 tells us not to become weary in doing good, because in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Do not give up in the season just before the harvest. Keep believing, keep praying, keep obeying, keep walking, keep trusting. You may be closer than you realize, and while you wait, God is preparing you for what you are asking Him to bring. Further, strengthen every person listening right now. For the weary, give strength. For the fearful, give courage. For the confused, give wisdom. For the broken, bring healing. For the discouraged, restore hope. For the overwhelmed, release peace. For the person who feels surrounded by problems, remind them that they are also surrounded by your presence. Let Psalm 23 become real in their spirit today. You are with me, not merely yesterday, not merely someday, today. You are with me in the office. You are with me in the car. You are with me in the hospital waiting room. You are with me in the difficult conversation. You are with me in the financial uncertainty. You are with me when I feel alone. You are with me when I don't understand. You are with me when I rejoice. You are with me when I cry. You are with me through it all. And because you are with me, I can keep walking. I can keep believing. I can keep hoping. I can keep moving forward. Today, you are not walking into Thursday as someone defeated by yesterday. You are walking forward as someone carried by grace. Your past may have wounded you, but it does not have authority over your future. Your mistakes may have taught you, but they do not define you. Your disappointments may have shaped you, but they do not determine your destiny. God is still writing, and the next chapter can be better than the one you just survived. So lift your head as the morning light rises. Let your heart breathe again. Let hope enter again. Let faith speak again. Say within yourself, God goes before me. God walks with me. God protects me. God orders my steps. God will give me wisdom. God will sustain me. God will never abandon me. And now, walk into the day with peace. Walk into your responsibilities with wisdom. Walk into your conversations with grace. Walk into your challenges with courage. Walk into your opportunities with discernment. Walk into your future with faith. You don't have to know exactly how everything will work out. You simply need to trust the one who holds it all, because God has already gone before you. He is already working behind the scenes. He is already preparing what you cannot see. He is already protecting you from what you do not know. He is already strengthening you for what you will face. And He is already preparing moments of grace that will remind you why you kept believing. So, whatever happens today, do not surrender your peace. Whatever you hear, do not surrender your hope. Whatever changes, do not surrender your faith. Whatever door closes, do not surrender your expectation. And whatever door opens, give God the glory, because this Thursday belongs to Him. Your steps belong to Him. Your future belongs to Him. Your family belongs to Him. And your victory belongs to Him. The sun has risen, the day is before you. And grace has already gone ahead. Walk into Thursday with victory. Not because you know what the day will bring, but because you know who is going before you. Further, as this Thursday begins to unfold, we place every remaining concern into your hands. We surrender the things we cannot control, the questions we cannot answer, and the battles we cannot fight in our own strength. Go before us, Lord. Stand beside us. Cover us behind us. Let your presence surround every person listening to this prayer, and let them walk away from this moment knowing that they are not alone. Lord, for the person who woke up tired, strengthen them. For the person who woke up broken, heal them. For the person who woke up worried, give them peace. For the person who has been carrying disappointment for too long, restore their hope. Let this morning become a turning point in their spirit, a moment when they stop looking only at what is wrong and begin looking again at the God who is greater than everything they are facing. Father, protect their going out and their coming in. Cover their homes, their families, their relationships, their work, their decisions, and their future. Let no fear dominate their thoughts today. Give them discernment to recognize what is not from you and wisdom to follow the path you have prepared. When you close a door, give them peace to release it. When you open a door, give them courage to walk through it. And Lord, restore what has been worn down by life. Restore the joy that disappointment stole. Restore the peace that anxiety disturbed. Restore the confidence that rejection weakened. Restore the dreams that seemed buried beneath years of struggle. Let the weary soul breathe again. Let the broken heart believe again. Let the discouraged person hope again. Your word says in Psalm 46:1 that you are our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. So today we declare that trouble will not have the final word. Fear will not have the final word. Rejection will not have the final word. Delay will not have the final word. The opinions of people will not have the final word. You have the final word, Lord. And because you are going before us, we will not walk into this day trembling. We will walk with faith. We will walk with wisdom. We will walk with expectation. We will walk knowing that even when we cannot see what you are doing, you are still working. Even when the answer has not arrived, you are still faithful. Even when the door has not opened, you are still preparing the way. So if this prayer has spoken to your heart this morning, don't let this moment end here. Carry this prayer with you throughout the day. When anxiety rises, remember that God is your peace. When fear speaks, remember that God is your protection. When disappointment comes, remember that God is your hope. And when an unexpected blessing appears, remember to stop and give Him thanks. If you believe that God is going before you today, subscribe to this channel and become part of this growing community of believers who begin their mornings with prayer, faith, and the Word of God. Let this be more than a subscription. Let it be a daily decision to put God first before the noise of the world begins. And if you are believing for divine protection, open doors, restoration, healing, or unexpected favor, share this prayer with someone who needs encouragement this morning. Someone in your family may be struggling silently. Someone you know may be waking up discouraged. Someone may need to hear today that God has not forgotten them. Your simple share could place hope in the hands of someone who desperately needs it. And before you leave, I want you to carry one final declaration into your Thursday. God goes before me. God walks with me. God protects me. God orders my steps. God restores my soul. God opens the right doors. And no weapon formed against me will prosper. Say it until your heart believes it. Say it when you are afraid. Say it when circumstances look impossible. Say it when you cannot yet see the answer, because your faith is not built on what your eyes can see. Your faith is built on the character of the God you know. And if you feel led, leave a brief declaration in the comments, not because your comment changes God's power, but as your personal expression of faith. You can simply write, "God is going before me today." Let those words remind you throughout the day of the promise you are choosing to stand upon. Father, bless every person connected to this prayer. May their morning be filled with peace. May their decisions be guided by wisdom. May their home be filled with love. May their heart be protected from fear. May their steps be ordered by you. May unexpected favor meet them in places they never expected, and may every blessing you bring draw them closer to your presence. And now, as we close this prayer, I declare over you, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Go forward today with your head lifted and your heart steady. The night is behind you. The morning is here. Grace has gone ahead. Mercy is following you. And God is walking with you. This is your Thursday. Walk in peace. Walk in faith. Walk in protection. Walk in divine favor. Walk in victory. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.